Good evening, everyone. Excuse me. Welcome to the Business Buzz for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I'm Keith Johnson. I'm a CPA here in Jacksonville, and I'm here to bring you the latest news of the day. And we have some really good news for those that were dreading the dreaded BOI report. The BOI stands for Beneficial Ownership Interest. And that was part of what was called the Corporate Transparency Act, or CTA, that was passed last year and took effect in January of this year. Also, I got a little guest here, Christmas. You've seen her before if you've been watching. And what has happened was people or businesses had to file a BOI report. Now, the way it worked was if your business was created in 2024, you had 90 days from the time that it was created to file the report, and file the report to FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. If your business was created prior to 2024, then you had until the end of this year to file. Now, there were some exceptions made or extensions made for businesses in Florida because we had a lot of hurricanes, and also for places that were hit by natural disasters, such as Helene or any kind of severe weather. So you got extensions for that. Well, today, or actually it was last week, a federal judge in Texas issued a nationwide injunction on the filing of the BOI. This means that nobody has to file a BOI report or anymore. I mean, if you already have, then you already have. No damage done. But if you don't have to file, or if you haven't filed yet, you were dreading December 31st, then you kind of had to. This would be very good news for you. The good news is that today, as a result of that judge's ruling, FinCEN came out and they basically said for the indefinite future, BOI reports will not be necessary. So you don't have to file the reports if you haven't already. My educated guess, reading the tea leaves, is that the incoming Trump administration, being the anti-legislative administration they were during Trump's first term, and what they likely will be during his second term, they're going to put the kibosh on it. There's some chatter last week saying that if it was going to be challenged by the Department of Treasury, that people or businesses could be caught, and there's no retroactive grace involved. In other words, let's say you had the ruling last week, and because that somebody, random business owner might say, "Hey, I don't have to file it," and then say in February, March, the Department of Treasury challenges it, they win, and then they might say that the business owner, didn't file on time, and they may impose penalties on that, even though they were under a court order not to file. So you want to make sure that they were compliant. However, with this announcement today with FinCEN, that pretty much kills any of the chances, at least for the short term, that such reports will be needed. So great for transparency, because to be honest, we already have, the government has a bunch of other ways to find you if they want. So this is a big big win for privacy, and we're very happy too as far as that goes. Some other news: tomorrow will be the release of the uh, November inflation CPI Consumer Price Index. Inflation numbers for that month. Um, Starting to see some chatter about that. Economists are predicting that might tick upward a little bit. They are looks like the downward slide to inflation may be ending. And really, it was because we've seen some pickup. We had a good strong um, unemployment figures or reemployment figures came in hotter than expected, and wage growth was really strong. So we think that inflation might pick up a little bit. Um, so we'll see. We'll find out. Also, more proposed appointments awaiting Senate confirmation are being done. So it's going to be a pretty busy end of December, early January. The Congress is set to adjourn in the next few days. The new Congress will be seated January 3rd. That's a Friday. And I would imagine a lot of the confirmation hearings will be done prior to that. They did catch the perp who shot the CEO of United Healthcare, which is good. Yay. Hopefully they got the right guy. Pretty scummy looking, for lack of a better word. He wrote manifestos, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." And he had a hit list of different targets. So we'll see how that plays out over the next year or two. Daniel Penny was acquitted yesterday of voluntary or negligent homicide charges. The original charge of manslaughter. Manslaughter was dropped on Friday when jurors could not reach a verdict, and then they came back. They tried him on the second charge. Jury came back and ruled him innocent. I think that's totally the right call. If people want to be safe, then they need to let in an emergency people like Daniel Penny to operate. He didn't look for a fight, but as a Marine, he's trained to do that, and he did what he had to do to save everybody. So we were very happy that happened. Speaking of that, speaking of the Marines and the rest of the military, looks like there will be a push coming out. Excuse me, push coming it's already starting, to be honest, but it will be in the Trump administration where, the number one priority, according to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense appointee, will be to make it a fighting force again, which we really, really need. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. So Dow Jones dropped 154 points today, and Chrissy's hungry for her dinner. And so I better feed her as far as actually, Chrissy's still right here. Actually, it's my chief of Canton Osceola who is whining about his dinner. So that'll do it for this evening. Now, personal note. I will be going under shoulder surgery on my right shoulder tomorrow. I tore it about a year ago, tore a tendon in my shoulder, competing in the Jacksonville Senior Games golf. If you're over 50, definitely want to check it out. It's like the Olympics for senior citizens, people 50 and over. And that's what they define it as. You go through local qualifying, which I did. And then you got state qualifying, which I didn't do this year, even though I did qualify for state. But after the injury report, I decided to play it safe. And then if you do well in the state competition, then you're eligible for the national tournament, national senior games, which will be held next May in Des Moines, Iowa. I tore it. It sounds a lot. It sounds a lot worse than it feels, to be quite honest. It just ached. It was an annoying ache. There was never any sharp pain. It was just an annoying ache that didn't go away. I still have pretty much my whole range of motion. So I thought, okay, I just sprained something, and I waited, until tax season was winding down, and I realized the aching wasn't going away. So I went to the doctor, referred me, MRI, found that. However, I am looking forward. Well, I'm not looking forward to it, obviously, but I am feel good that Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is doing the surgery. The surgeon is doing that. We also have a Mayo Clinic here in Jacksonville, but JOI is, they work on the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL team. They work on all the college teams. They work on, I think, the Shrimp here, which are AAA baseball, and other teams. So they know what they're doing. If they're good enough for the Jaguars, they're good enough for me. So I will probably be out the rest of the week. You'll probably see me with a sling coming up for the next couple weeks at least. And I've got about 4 or 5 months of rehab, which I'm going to use as a springboard to the training. I mean, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to follow the rehab people, whatever they say. But I'm going to hit it hard and set up my body for competing in the next senior games, which will be next October here in Jacksonville. So I'll be off probably the rest of the week, maybe Monday. We'll see how I feel. And if you have any questions, just email me. I've been working on my Twitter page and starting to get some likes, starting to get a couple followers. So it's starting to build up. So, give me a contact or contact me through that. It's at KEJ but it is titled The Business Buds. Anyway, that'll do it for tonight. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and I will see you probably next week early. Thanks. Bye.